bottom in sight. Auto depth's in.
A visual in PTZ.
That looks good. All right, I'm gonna start backing.
Go ahead, Bridge. Good copy. Copy that, Bridge. Thank you very much.
Turn a little bit to line up.
Following you down. I see you in nice and centered in fisheye.
Nice.
There you are,
coming
main
into
HD.
view. And then I'll turn clockwise, and then do you want to meet me at about 45 when I'm right underneath you?
Sure.
All right. I think it looks good about there. I'll start to rotate clockwise.
And, I think about 055.
Copy.
The best bigger hunting for the terrain.
All right, Copa at 055.
I'm at 055.
So I'm just going a little slower.
Yeah. There we are. I'll come out at 60 or so to keep you in view.
Copy that.
Come over after.
Yeah, and I'll center the 2. That. Alright, it's about 055.
Okay, you'll just have to settle to port a little. I'm at 6.5.
Copy
Coming
that.
over.
Looks like we got a current going south, southeast maybe.
Yeah, I was streaming us southwest, but actually I guess it was streaming us due west.
Yeah.
I guess if it's small enough, you just keep the streaming from when you were towed. It doesn't spin you really. All right, you ready for swing arms to come out?
Yeah, you can start going for everything. Come out of auto depth and auto heading.
Good copy. Sounds good.
Go off stick for a second, see what current does. And test Z bias.
Yeah, this PTZ is pretty annoying that doesn't go to the right.
Yeah. This morning I thought it was good. And then I did it again and it wasn't. So I got excited, but I do like that camera a lot too.
I just overshot again. There we go. I'll do this one. That's what I meant to do.
Yeah, not much current. Barely moving. I guess it might be slightly, yeah, no, I think it is slightly, like southwest maybe. Very slight.
Okay, your swing arms are halfway down.
Copy
In
that.
case it gets
Morning
steep,
to everyone on
see how
shore.
light
This is
is
the
on the
no-ship
sediment.
Okeanos
Looks good.
Explorer.
I'm
We're
happy to see
diving today at a
bias.
depth of around 1,100 meters
All right.
off the
Think I'm ready.
southwest point
Ready to
of
start?
Puerto Rico, an area
Ready. Copy
off
that.
La Parguera.
I'll let Washley
Which-
finish speaking.
Has a number of ridge-like
Yeah, let's
features.
find that Spanish shipwreck.
Yeah. Hey, Washley. Just heads up. We just finished getting everything ready, so we're ready to start.
Excellent.
We'll
So, yep. So the plan is just to follow the track upslope, and whichever way is most comfortable for you all in the front row, and see what we find.
Copy that.
We'll let you know in advance. I know same deal with fishes. You know, prioritize fishes on zooms on fishes, and then we'll see if we have any corals or sponges that we can get better images of as we go.
Copy that. Sounds good. All right, Nav. It looks like upslope for me is almost like 70
Copy that.
degrees.
Yeah, that agrees with this.
So for everyone on shore,
All right,
we'll
I'll turn
do a
over
round
to
of
70.
introductions in the back here, and then
Okay.
once the pilots
how
get
far-
settled, we
do you
can
want me to
introduce
bump you
them
down
as
to
well.
30? Or are you happy
My
with
name is
50?
Steve
Yeah, you
Oskovich.
can put me 30.
I'm
Sounds
going to
good.
be one of the
Down,
co-science
and
leads on
co-pilot,
this
you wanna be down at
particular
50 or 80?
expedition
50 is good.
Dropping you down.
to explore deep-sea habitats around Puerto Rico and the U.S.
It
Virgin
looks like
Islands.
you're pretty close.
I'm a PhD candidate
Once
at
you
Temple
stretch out,
University
you
in
guys just want, like, a
Philadelphia
20-meter
in the
move?
Department of Biology,
Yeah, sounds
and I'm a deep-sea
sounds
ecologist.
fine. We got
who
like
study
just
the
just below
ecology
45
and
degree.
biogeography
Slope.
of deep water corals in
070.
particular.
070
And I'm joined
for
by-
a 20-meter move, and I'll wait a little bit until you get
Stacey
stretched out,
Williams
and
from
then
the
I'll put that
Institute
in.
for Socio-Ecological
Okay, well,
Research
here,
and
my
Coastal
camera's at
Survey Solutions,
45.
both
I think it's good.
companies located in
Alright,
Puerto
we're
Rico. I'm a benthic ecologist, and I've been studying the marine
Unless pilots see
communities
something
around
amazing in
Puerto
the next
Rico
10 seconds.
and throughout the Caribbean, specifically shallow water coral
Did you
reefs
feel
and
any
also
current when you were
mesophotic
drifting?
reefs.
There's
But I'm
gotta
very
be
happy
none.
to be on this expedition.
Like maybe very slight
Bridge, this is our
downslope. I think I
So
backed
our,
up.
our role as
but
science
over like a
coordinators
minute,
or
it'd be like
science
a foot.
guess that agrees
leads
with what
on
we're
this
streaming down
expedition
there
is
to the
to
west.
Video you want to stamp
transmit the goals and wishes of the scientific community here on the ship. We don't have a large team of scientists,
Hi, Bridge, this is
but
our
we have a number of them
We would
on
like to put in a
shore who are
position move if you're ready.
participating remotely through chat.
We're looking for a range
Conference line.
of 20 meters, bearing 070, speed
So
decimal
we're
2,
here on the
please.
ship coordinating sampling interests as well as interests
Good copy.
for the particular dives,
Thank you very much, Bridge.
such as zooming and getting higher definition photos of corals and
Video come
sponges,
out.
as well as characterizing the habitat in this area. So I think we're looking at a
So
Euplectellid
it's
one,
sponge, yeah.
possibly in the genus Euplectella. One that we're not too unfamiliar with in this area. Although I think we saw a couple of them
Yesterday, yeah. But not as many as the day before.
Right. Makes me think it's more of a deep water species. Oh, something
Of
scooting
something.
along the sediment there.
Oh yeah, video zoom.
It's moving fast.
Yeah.
It's quick.
Oh, there we go.
Oh. This crab has a sponge, it looks like.
Yeah, this is something we see once in a while. It's a type of hermit crab, and on its back, rather than a shell, it actually has a colony of zoanthids.
Zoanthids.
Yeah, and sometimes it can be zoanthids, sometimes it can be anemones.
Video come partial.
They have a bio backpack of
Yeah.
sorts.
Yesterday we saw them in a couple pieces of wood.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that was probably the funniest thing I've seen a hermit crab inside of. But any port in a storm.
Yep.
But this relationship is definitely more special because
Video
we
you can
see
come
this
back in
type
if
of
you want.
relationship all over the world.
Put lasers off.
Copy.
This symbiosis between the zoanthid and the crab. It's not clear. I'm guessing the crab gets a nice camouflage while the while the zoanthid gets some nice habitat to live on. A nice mobile home.
Yeah, a variety of habitat.
You can see the polyps kind of sucked in on top of the crab here. Usually you can see them, they're nice and out and open, but these are not being very cooperative today. Maybe digesting a meal. All right.
Video, whenever you're happy. Great.
Oh.
Ooh,
Let's look at the squid
nice.
first.
Ooh.
Thought I saw a shadow.
Yeah. Video, go ahead.
I don't think we've seen this squid yet.
No. We haven't seen too many squids. Or
Do lasers.
Yeah, they've been very
swam,
small.
yeah, out of the camera view.
We're looking at a deep water squid species. Our depth is around 1,100 meters to start today. This is not a squid we're accustomed to seeing around here. We haven't seen yet.
Okay, I'll turn lasers
Well,
on.
it just seems to be falling to the bottom. There it goes.
Oh,
Cool.
nice.
Nice
Changing colors.
acrobatics there. So these squids are mollusks. They're part of the cephalopod
boy.
group that octopuses also belong to, and
Okay.
cuttlefish.
He's just testing me.
He's sizing you up.
I wasn't sure what that white tip is on the back end. of the
Maybe
squid.
from like maybe it's like some of the sediment that's on it.
Could be. We've seen them before. Sometimes they have parasites, in fact, that burrow into the mantle.
Oh,
I was
okay.
wondering if that was what that could be, but it's moving very quickly, so I don't know if we're going to get a great view of it. But it's very shiny.
Good copy, Bridge. Thank
It
you.
actually, I mean, if you didn't know any better, it would kind of resemble a fish. You know, it has the silvery underbelly and the dark
Yeah,
dorsal
video.
side.
Lost areas.
You know, just thinking in terms
Yeah.
of camouflage. No, that's okay. I didn't notice anything
right,
three-dimensional
we can
there. I
move
think
on.
it just might have been a discoloration.
All right, sounds good. Watch lead. Moving on.
Lasers back on.
Something else on the
We have
bottom
a-
right there, just left a laser.
Very
Yeah, I see
interested
it.
group of cephalopod experts on the shore that
I'm gonna snap it real quick. Video.
we'll send some photos to later, and maybe we'll be able to get a better identification on the squid. Can't tell if this is an anemone or a sea cucumber.
It's a sea cucumber.
It's a little one,
Yeah.
and it's got a bunch of these parasitic
It's like
gastropods,
yeah,
snails. And there's something on the back as well, up here.
And all right here.
Good copy, Bridge.
It looks
Thank
like an isopod right here.
Yeah, it looks like
A
some
couple
sort of
isopods
crustacean.
right here.
That's interesting. I don't see any of these on the larger ones we passed, but yeah, I know these sea cucumbers are known for having burrowing parasites that burrow into their body. Presumably wanting more than just a free ride,
Yeah.
also dinner. But yeah, I've never seen these isopods or amphipods on them as well. At least 3 of these isopods or amphipods, I think.
I think
I
it's
think
I
they're
think
more.
they're amphipods.
that's-
yeah.
yeah,
They
they
don't
look-
have like that flattened.
They're not flattened. Yeah, they're more laterally compressed. Very good.
All right.
Thank you, Spotlight.
No problem.
there's a lot of sargassum at this site that much more than we've seen in the previous dives. Buenos días a esta mañana. Este es el Okeanos Explorer. Mi nombre es Stacy Williams y estoy con Steve Askovich.
Good AFC fish.
Yep.
Hoy
Yeah, lasers on
yo
real
estoy
quick.
muy
Alright,
emocionada porque estamos buceando en
video,
la
yeah,
Parguera,
switch come in.
en Lajas, Puerto Rico. Y vamos a investigar y caracterizar los corales y esponjas
Alright, video, you can take more.
en aguas profundas y todos los peces. Vamos a empezar a la profundidad de 1097 metros hasta 888 metros. So this fish,
Yeah,
I
this
don't know if we've
I don't-
seen it before, right?
I don't think so.
It's very different. It's very dark. Can the fishes
Much
that we've
darker.
been
Yeah, it
seeing.
has very large pectoral fins as
Yeah,
well.
video, I'm gonna back up. He's underneath me.
I think that'll. Yeah,
Is that good, Washington?
I think that's okay.
Alright,
Thanks.
copy.
So we were remarking just not too long ago about how much sargassum there is on the seafloor. Those might look like the dark blotches you're seeing on the shore, but they represent an important food source for the deep sea, an easy way to get carbon down to the deep ocean. The past few days it's been a little bit of a hazard on the surface as well for navigation of the ship. Sea star chilling out in the sediment here, as well as there was a stick, like a woodfall,
Alright, video, you
not
wanna
very
come in?
large.
Oh, it's moving quite quickly.
I don't think this is one we've seen either.
No. And it looks like part of the arm is broken off at the tip.
Yep.
It looks pretty blunt.
Usually we see these sea stars, they're fairly stationary or, on a coral but this one looks like it could be a deposit feeder in the sediments. Either way, has to get somewhere in a hurry.
Is that all you need, Washlights?
I think that's acceptable, yeah.
Alright, video. Let's take whatever else you need. Lasers and
We have a sponge off to the right.
copy.
Another one of these looks like glass sponges. Something.
Is this of interest, Washlights?
Not that one, but to the left, upper left corner, there might be something right now.
Copy that.
Looked sponge-shaped, kind
Yeah.
of at the 11 o'clock position. Could be nothing.
Alright,
Right
video,
there,
you wanna
yeah.
snap this?
Could be everything.
Definitely a sponge.
Looks like it has some zoanthids at the base of the stalk.
Yeah, they're fairly translucent. Or anemones. Yeah, zoanthids or anemones.
If you look in
I'm
the
not sure
sonar
if this
view
is
of
like the hyalinomatids we were seeing
Yeah.
earlier,
the
but
starboard side,
it
that
is
an odd return.
It might be the
craft or something.
No, it's similar,
Kind of
Yeah.
different from what I normally.
but not
see.
quite the same.
Yeah, let's see. It's definitely something like on the vehicle or
So
in the sonar.
maybe something in the Highland and Matidae family. It's got a number of
I always
Ophiocanthid
saw it like this.
brittle
first
stars.
Initial big
At
blip
least 3
Yeah.
that I
on
can
the
see.
starboard side was a craft.
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm not sure.
All right, wash shades.
Thank
Is that all
you.
you need?
Yep, that's it.
All right, video. Let's take what you need.
So our
Alright,
dive plan
moving
for
on.
today is pretty much like we typically do on an average day. We'll head up a steep slope,
You're pretty
followed
far
by
up there now,
a
pilot.
more
Should we
elongated
get in another move?
transect along a ridge.
Yeah,
Sure,
I
I
think
can do another 20-meter move.
sounds good to me.
070 still work.
We haven't quite gotten to
yeah,
the
that's the way
steeper
I'm going.
part of the slope
Yeah.
yet, but we're
Copy
getting
that.
there.
I will call it in. Bridge is already now.
Pilot, I'm going to play with the sonar
make
for a
another
minute.
move,
Shall we
please?
get rid of these
The same
blank
exact thing.
spots
And I
here?
wonder
20
because it
meters
seems
for
like
range
these
at,
impulses of
070
sargassum are getting worse and worse
speed is
every year.
decimal
How that's going to affect these deep sea communities.
two. Good copy. Thank you very much.
I'm sure the sea stars and the sea urchins will
Don't
love
mind,
it.
yeah, we saw a couple eating them, eating the sargassum on the other dive, one of the sea urchins.
Oh, are you playing with the sonar too?
One of the
Nev?
reasons we've been focusing
I'm
on
not touching it.
Oh,
focusing
okay.
on doing
Just,
these slope and ridge type dives is
agree.
that
I think what you
the
want to do
slopes
is move the little
generally
white
have
bar,
more
not
hard
the-
bottom,
not the
more hard
color scheme.
substrate for attachment of corals and sponges. It's very difficult
help.
for a lot of sediment to build
What
up
are you
on
trying to accomplish?
vertical walls or
I just
features
switched
like
the
that, so
frequencies, and then I'm
we
going to
have
restart the software, but
a better
it's
chance
going to
of
help.
seeing hard bottom fauna. And then on the ridges, there's
just
usually
wanna restart it
accelerating
all.
currents on the tops of the ridges that might also help to increase the abundance of deep water benthic organisms, sessile organisms that may be suspension or filter feeding in the water column.
Pilot, there's, I don't know if this is sargassum, right to the left of the lasers. Can we do a snap zoom?
Yeah, copy that.
That's
Video, you want
More
to come
darker
in and
than
snap?
sargassum.
Could be a piece of wood, a piece of a log.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
piece
yeah.
of wood.
So we've got a couple of squat lobsters and several marine snails, gastropods, it looks like.
Is that all you wanted, watch lights?
Yes, that's good, thanks.
Copy that. All right, video, you can come wide whenever you're ready.
We were mentioning, I think we found probably the most substantial woodfall when we were at Buck Island Reef National Monument. It's a very large log filled with all sorts of marine creatures like squat lobsters and snails and what looked to be like wormholes or wood-boring mollusks.
Video
That was a
these-
halicar.
Yeah, it looks like a halicar.
Yeah, never mind. Moves
Let him
moving
go.
too quick.
Oh, sure. This environment kind of reminds me of the
Alright,
Buck
pilot,
Island
I'm going to try
Reef
power
Mon-
cycling
National
both
Monument.
our sonars.
We
Right.
started off
Copy
in
that.
this habitat dominated by this soft sediment.
Kind of on a surprisingly steep
Steep
slope
slope,
as
yeah.
well. Notice a lot more sargassum here, a little bit more bioturbation in the sediment, these mounds. Probably the result of some
Copy that.
burrowing by deep sea fauna.
Nav, will you KVM out of
Fauna
sonar?
are usually classified
almost
as
like maybe a
organisms that
video you
live
wanna
in the
snap
sediment,
too.
sometimes in burrows.
Just
Or,
hold there for a second. So
or
we
in
got
mounts.
lasers.
there we go.
All right, keep going. I'm gonna kill lasers, co-pilot.
Lasers coming off.
So,
Good copy, Bridge. Thank you.
Looks like it
Sync.
could be a Aldrovandia.
Yes, that should
Yeah.
be fine
Don't
if
see
you
the
want to go over 10
scales.
degrees. Copy that.
Aldrovandia.
Pilots, the ship is changing its heading 10 degrees. Should not affect you.
copy that. XNAV. Alright, he swam away. Moving on.
So just in the shallower parts of La Parguera, there's actually the Marine Science Department, and this is probably the most well-studied region of Puerto Rico in terms of coral reefs.
Oh, wow.
A lot of times, well, most of the times it's shallow coral reefs, but now
Yeah, co-pilot.
Go ahead.
they have
Yeah, I
a
don't
program,
have, dry lab on here.
long-term
We
monitoring
call
program for
whoever's on
mesophotic
data out
reef
there to,
off of La Parguera. So
read
this
the
is
message on the
interesting
sonar
to
computer
see.
and maybe
You know,
restart
this
the
is the
computer.
first expedition
Sure. I do not have dry lab, but I have a total
as deep as this one today. So I'm excited to see
No
what
dry
we
lab.
can find.
Oh, pilot has dry lab.
Excellent. Am I seeing things over on the right-hand side? Or
No,
is
I
there
think that's a stocked crinoid.
on the right-hand side and the
Yeah.
upper right?
Might be.
Dead center now.
Yeah, copy that. Alright, video, you want to start
I
to
thought
come
I
in?
saw a more substantial branching structure, but it
Oh.
might be. Oh, there we go.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. So
But it's a carnivorous sponge.
yeah, it looks like exactly like the one we collected, which is in the genus Chondrocladia in the family of cladorizid sponges. These are carnivorous sponges. They
All right.
capture
Fernando on data is
small
gonna
zooplankton
check out that computer and
and
restart it for us.
spicules that are
What was wrong
formed
with the
with
Oh, we don't know
very
yet.
sharp, what look like
If you
teeth.
can decipher that message there,
And
then
it uses these teeth to latch on to and digest.
you notice
small
the blank
invertebrates,
spots. I don't know if it's
crustaceans.
related. So when I switch frequencies,
I
which
see
we
some
do often,
hydroids in there too.
it crashed
Kind
and
of in
gave these
this,
errors.
in this area. These look like
Oh, yeah.
hydroids growing on
And the stalk.
the stalk, yeah.
And a crinoid. From afar, it looked like a stalk crinoid, but
So after we sampled this most recent one a few days ago, I was going back. There are 2 species of this genus known from the area. So we'll have to send some more photos and our specimen to sponge specialists to get a better identification on that.
Alright,
Very
video.
good.
What else do you need from this?
I think that's all.
Alright, watchers are happy. There's lasers. And moving on.
Good copy. 090 is new heading. Thank you.
So we've got lasers on this fish video. I think it's the same one now. Alright, you want to snap it real quick?
looks like the same one that we saw before.
They tend to be dominant in this deep. You know, we've only seen one other fish,
Go
a
pilot,
black
that move, ship move just got completed.
cusk-like
Could you
fish,
give me a sense of when you think you stop moving
well as
so I can get
these,
an idea for this one?
these
Okay.
halosaurs.
Thank you.
It's a little more difficult without sonar, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll just be a rough idea, and then when we get sonar back, I'll try and lock it in.
Well, they stopped moving and then they did a heading change, right?
That's good,
They
pilot.
stopped
Thank you.
moving at
Problem?
1327.
Oh, yeah, I've definitely stopped moving then.
Copy that. Less than
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Yeah, it should be like 2 or 3 minutes at this step, or maybe 2.
Definitely getting steep pretty quick in this area. This looks like some small sand channels or something.
Yeah.
Some erosional features here. Our pilots are doing a quick change out, so it'll be a few moments before we can get going again.
No, I think, yeah. I guess less than 30 meters, yeah. You could even do 30. Yeah. Hmm? I would wait a little. We've only been on the bottom like 10 minutes, and I think scientists are going to get impatient soon because they haven't seen anything. So if you make some 30-meter moves, you know, do a few 30s, see some things, then maybe take a sample. Cool. All right.
So hoy estamos en La Parguera, en Lajas. Es en suroeste de Puerto Rico. En este área había muchos estudios han hecho en las
right, now let's get
comunidades
moving a little
marinas,
buddy.
cerca de la costa, como hierbas marinas,
Range and bearing.
manglares, arrecifes corales, pero nunca
Well, we
We're
got
doing-
no sonar.
en las
We were
aguas
doing
profundas.
070.
See if that looks right to
So-
me.
You guys good with that?
So hoy
70 looks good to me.
vamos a
Alright.
empezar
Maybe
un
even
75.
pendiente
075 might be a little
y,
better.
Okay.
y vamos a
Okay, so
subir
75.
una cuesta
You want 30 meters?
hasta
I think we
888
could do
metros
Yeah,
en
30.
profundidad.
He's pretty far out.
Just keep an eye on sonar.
That we don't have. Bridge, this is ROV nav. Yeah, I'd like a move if you're
Oh,
ready.
there's something.
Range 30 meters. Bearing
Is that a fish or a
075
stock?
degrees.
I think
See a
that's
fish
fish.
floating and you want to see it?
But this looks like
Yeah,
it's
to the-
leading to something.
To the right of the lasers.
It's a good
Might-
copy, Bridge.
I think it's a fish.
Fish.
Yeah, hanging out in the water column.
So Nav, without the
Yeah, come on,
sonars,
partial
just
on
be
the
ready
fish.
to do a. If I get too close, if
It
all of a
doesn't
sudden a rock
look like a
appears,
halosaur,
be ready
but,
to do a
You know,
back.
20
always
meters
fooled
back.
by these ones.
250. Or keep that.
Maybe it's
Line
because we
converse,
actually just want to see
rating.
something else,
Yeah.
but it
Alright.
seems to be just the dominant thing in this area. Although this one has some interesting
something, yeah.
parasites, yay.
Not
Finally.
yay for the fish,
Yay.
but yay for us.
Yay for the parasites, yay for biodiversity. So this has some sort of parasite on the right gill. It looks like an isopod.
Going down the body a little bit. Look at the tail.
So it's always a good idea to take a peek at the head and the tail and the body of these fishes,
Okay.
both for identification purposes, but also to identify parasites that are commonly observed on fishes in the deep sea. I don't know if
Okay.
kind of a
Roll
niche
out
thing.
video.
We can't really identify the parasites very well here, but if we send a photo of that to a fish specialist, they can probably do a better job at identifying those small scale critters.
Curious why they do the two different windows like this instead of in the software, how we had it before.
Pilot, Nav.
Hey, Nav. Or hey,
Looks
co-pilot.
like it's leading to something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see, bias.
Pilot, this is watch lead. Can you just snap zoom?
Yeah, that hole there.
Yeah,
where-
yeah, that trail.
Yeah, of course.
I thought it was a
Just,
rock. It does look like a burrow, doesn't it?
Something, yeah.
seems like we still need to dialing our Z bias. Yeah, we looks like a burrow, maybe a grab or something might be in
Might be
here.
something in there.
Come around to the opening. If we get the fog lights on, maybe we can light up inside a little bit.
It kind of reminds me of the burrows that a lot of the giant isopods make.
Okay, come on in,
like
video.
this.
Just frame the hole.
And they sit in the burrow just facing outwards. But
Wow, it's a
No.
pretty
don't quite
big
see
burrow.
anything in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Could
there's
also be one
something-
of the deep sea blind lobsters. They sit in burrows like this, but
There is something to the right. Is that just... Oh no, that might just be a wall.
it's a nice
There's
little
something
hidey hole.
Yeah.
There's something small right there. That's obviously not what built this burrow. He's been busy.
Yeah, there's a bunch of isopods, and that looks like an amphipod or a shrimp.
Maybe
Okay. Sargassum on the front porch.
Okay, thanks video. Gonna push out a little just because.
I'm still kind of bummed about the
Do you mind restarting our sonar?
mantis
see if
shrimp
they
we
get
missed yesterday.
going
Yeah.
again here?
Yeah.
We don't get to see those very often. We do see them sometimes, but we saw a burrow for a mantis shrimp that
Will do.
unfortunately we scared off the mantis shrimp deeper into the burrow, so we didn't get a good look at it, but those are always very, very interesting.
Zeros is coming on.
Centering, so that's going. You can start
Do you see
DCs.
many mantis shrimp when you're diving in the shallows?
And come on up.
You
with
have to have a good eye for them
Coming up.
because they usually are hiding.
Coming on.
But yeah,
Excuse me, coming on with.
we see a
G2.
few. Yeah. I collect a lot on my settlement plates for the
Oh, really?
urchins. Yeah.
Oh, got a
They're
fish.
ferocious predators. They
Yeah.
will definitely eat a bunch of sea urchins.
Small ones or
Yeah,
adult
sonar
size?
Small ones.
started. It's
yeah,
running.
recruits.
Come in
Oh,
partial.
here's another fish.
This looks like
This is the one that we didn't yesterday that we saw. Did we?
it was a couple days ago, maybe.
Dragging my toe a little bit. Can't go down any lower. I'll just use the camera.
I think we were throwing around a few names, but we weren't sure exactly what kind of fish or which group of fishes this belonged to.
Coming down with my camera to keep you in view.
But definitely
Yeah,
an ophidiform. At least we can
getting off.
get to that group.
There. That dust isn't really clearing. I don't think we're gonna. I think it's only gonna get worse there, video. Sorry.
Hey Nav, when you get the chance, do you mind changing the gain on my on this Sirius sonar?
Yeah, I'm on it.
Thank you.
How's that?
It's pretty good. So actually, I think you can spread out the color bar there, and there's a little white bar at the bottom
Yeah.
that you can just move the white bar, I believe.
Yeah, left click is white bar. Typically it's Sirius, we have it like prickles to the bottom.
Yeah, we'll set the sonars.
And then Sirius.
Keep your eye up. Keep your eyes up here. Thanks.
I like to get the white guy right at the top of the yellow. And then the color bars right at the top of the red.
For everyone tuning in on the shore side now, we're on our 8th dive of the expedition. We left the port of San Juan around the 30th of October.
So now that we
morning.
have our sonars back, it looks like the uphill is a
Yeah,
little bit
Going to be roughly doing a
more like
clockwise
southeast.
rotation around
Yeah,
the
yeah,
island
I
of
think
Puerto
so.
Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands.
More like 100.
We completed several dives in the
You
U.S.
want me to
Virgin
swing over?
Islands, as well as east of Vieques.
How far are we in
Island.
that ship move?
Looks like that move just completed.
Okay.
So far, we've made it about
Give you a minute to
halfway around
settle
the
in,
island.
but yeah, I think
We're going to be
come
conducting
around to
some
100
more
and do a
dives
short
and
move. I see
operations, mapping
maybe
operations
a ridge or
in the
something.
vicinity of
So
the Mona
might
Passage
do one
and
move
Mona
at
Island
100
over the
and then
next
end up turning
week or
more
so,
north.
Copy that.
followed by a few deeper dives towards the end of our expedition on the northern side of the island in the
Okay, I'm going to
vicinity
start
of the
swinging to
Puerto Rico
100.
Trench.
Copy that. Thanks.
Coming to starboard.
And
You
then
wanna move
wrapping
at
up
100, Jeff?
more or less
Yeah.
back right around the
30 is
northeast
good.
side of the island for
Alright.
one more
100.
dive.
So we just need to-
around the
Okay.
18th, I think, was our last dive.
I'm settling right
Bridge
in.
is
Yeah,
already
already.
nav.
19th,
Can
Yeah,
double
like a
check that.
move if you're ready. Range 30
right
meters.
the north of, I
Bearing
believe,
100.
Arecibo.
Speed decimal 2.
The 19th is our last dive.
Good copy. 1344.
Yeah, so we've. That's what HiPAC thinks is going to happen.
Over
Yeah,
these
sorta.
3
There's
weeks,
a little ridge nose, something going
we'll
on here.
be conducting
Okay.
operations in the area that focus on
So I
mapping
think
the
we're about to hit
seafloor as well
this,
as
and then we'll
exploring
wanna go
the
up it.
deep sea habitats.
That's where the waypoint is up here, yeah. Okay.
A lot of our explorations here will enhance the understanding of poorly explored deep water areas
ridge, turn
in
left.
the region of the U.S. Caribbean, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Generally targeting areas that might have significance for deep sea corals and sponges, as well as deep water fishes and submarine canyons. Where possible, also seamounts, escarpments, trenches, and other poorly known deep sea habitats in this region. Might be some kind of stock up there.
Something.
Yeah, I see that off in the distance. We're got the ship moving this general direction. We'll be there shortly. Take a longer look when we get there.
I haven't seen any significant hard bottom lately, but
There's a
we're getting
star
there.
here.
It should start to pick up.
And these past couple 8 days, we've been seeing a
Let's grab
diversity in
Let's just
these
frame this
deep
guy up for a
sea
little bit.
habitats to
Come on video.
these dominated soft sediment, slopes to really sharp drop-offs
There we
along
go.
the east coast.
Yeah,
It's a brittle star.
this resembles the one we were seeing the other day that was just sitting out on the seafloor.
Mm-hmm.
Usually we see brittle stars more commonly associated with branches, like corals and sometimes sponges, but there are free-living individuals that live on the benthos. This one in particular, probably some sort of deposit feeder.
Getting closer. We'll move along once we get a little tether. Just getting something while we wait here. Okay, video. Come on out. Push out to that stock that we saw.
The sea urchins, or the echinoderms deep, look so prehistoric,
Yeah,
Okay.
Chris Ma was telling us something about that yesterday.
Yeah.
A lot of the stalked crinoids are, quote unquote living fossils, but they just look ancient. They look
Yeah.
like what we find in the fossil record.
Looks like maybe what was once a possible stalked sponge.
Got a few burrows here.
Right.
Oh, we're seeing all these little burrows.
Do you want
These
a closer
types of
look at
burrows
this stock?
look exactly like the kind that the giant isopods make.
Actually, did you want a closer look at this?
Yeah, just a snap. I
Yeah,
think we know what it
snap
is.
in video.
It's got a,
Squat lobster.
although it could be a stock sponge, but it looks a little thinner than a stock sponge.
Looks like you have
Stock.
a large fish way above D2.
But yeah, it clearly has
Serious
a lot of zoanthids, very
Copy that,
dense,
thanks.
as well as this
May come
squat
down.
lobster. Seems to have found a good perch.
Looks like it has a different tail than what we have been seeing.
And these squat lobsters usually are associated with corals as well. We find them in this general posture with their arms and claws extended, hoping to capture anything that might swim by, like some sort of gelatinous plankton or maybe a fish.
Yeah, the other day we saw one capture a fish.
Yeah, there was some lantern fishes in a particularly dense in an area, and we saw that a few of them were captured by these squat lobsters or anemones
Okay,
on
you
the
want to
seafloor.
frame the whole specimen?
We have been collecting a bunch of these as associates on some branches that we actually now that I think back, the Hyalinema we collected the other day that had zoanthids also had a small squat lobster on the branch or on the stalk. Much smaller. That one was only maximum a centimeter or so.
I think we're good.
A lot of phytodetritus here. Sargassum and
holothurian down
Thalassia
here. Yeah, look at
seagrasses.
that. Little tiny
Oh,
holothurian.
little, yeah,
Oh, there we
small
go.
little holothurians.
Why don't you come up, co-pilot?
And it looks like it has an isopod on it or something. This is
Give this a second or two, and then I should catch up with the ship track. Got another one up here,
One
you
to the
said?
upper left as well.
Oh yeah, there's a whole swarm of them here. Or a
Herd.
herd of them.
herd.
Right? I used
A
swarm
herd
last
of
time.
holothurians.
It's an alliteration, it makes
Ah,
sense.
this one has a mouthful. You can see all the sediment in its intestinal tract.
Is this Maxime? Yeah, there you go.
I think I've seen these swimming.
yeah,
I think
he's
these are
going.
also of the
Looks
swimming
like that moves complete piles.
variety of sea
Copy that.
cucumbers.
I'm looking down at you at
Occasionally, but they're
090.
much smaller.
Copy
I don't
that.
see them
Thank you.
very
Thanks, Bridge.
much bigger than this. This is a few centimeters. Maybe they get maximum 10 centimeters, but not enormous. They're not like the Neastes we saw the other day that was 25 centimeters or
Facing a little bit more
or
like
bigger.
4 or 5.
Yeah.
I'll come around. Let's see what we've got
that,
on the top
that
of
one
this
was
ridge.
probably as big as a dinner plate.
Yeah. And that day
What
it was
direction are you thinking,
amazing
Jeff?
with holothurians. They
Next
were
move.
Whatever.
Probably
Whatever
hundreds
this sort of direction.
swimming
that
in the
way
water
is, more
column.
like
Oh,
4 or
turn.
5 or something.
Turn a little bit now, back to port.
Definitely as big
Yeah,
as
I
a
think
dinner
I'm
plate,
starting
but
to
you
see
wouldn't want to eat it.
the edge of it here.
Some people do
I don't
eat
want to
them.
get too far past it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they are
I want to make good
a
uphill
commodity in
progress.
some parts of the world, but I don't know if you'd want to eat the gelatinous ones.
No.
It's a bit
Oh,
crunchy.
what's this? Snap it real quick video.
I think
Here?
it's another hermit crab.
What's going on there?
Oh, yeah, there
Oh,
we
yeah.
Oh, with like quite the
go. Hermit crab with zoanthus.
associates. He is overrun.
That's a lot of baggage.
You can see it's filtering through the sediment.
Eating something, that's right.
Yeah.
The zoanthids like being dragged through the mud. Is that good for them?
I wouldn't think so. But I guess they have no choice.
Yeah. Just seems like an interesting association. Coming in a little closer for you, light it up.
Yeah, it's something, I'm sure that the zoanthids aren't picky, but I'm sure they could feed on small crustaceans or things that are close to the sediment as well. Not everything needs to be associated with feeding in the water column, but I'm sure it's advantageous.
He still moves pretty quickly, considering.
It's a good workout.
Yeah, I wonder if
And then there's
having
this.
more,
That's where I was headed before.
or having a larger amount of,
We seen these already?
having more zoanthids
I
on
don't
your
believe so, not this time.
abdomen is better, or if it's better to have less, does it make you more maneuverable,
Yeah.
or is it
Balance
just
out.
maybe an indicator of age?
Or are you gonna,
I'm going to
Possibly.
settle in for it
Okay.
here for you.
I wonder what it does when it has to molt.
Yeah, because you have to, they basically
Okay,
find
you
a
can
new
come
home.
in, frame it with
Yeah.
the lasers.
So
Maybe they
Then we'll turn 'em
temporarily
out.
take off the zoanthids and molt and then
Come in
put
a
their
little bit.
zoanthids back on. Or maybe they're
Let's get there.
recolonized. This is
That's
a
another
peculiar
yeah,
sea cucumber.
holothurian.
Come on in.
You can see its tentacles to the right side of the screen.
It has these modified feet-like projections, these podia that it's using to move across the seafloor, unlike the other ones we've seen where they've more or less just been sliding, using their tube feet on the underbelly to propel them along. This is very reminiscent of what the sea pigs look like when they walk across the bottom. So I think the head end is on the right.
Yeah, you can see
Yeah.
the tentacles. Right there.
So do they have little muscles that make their feet do that, or is there some other?
I think it's a water
Well,
vascular
they
system, isn't it?
have a water vascular system.
Yeah,
They do
okay.
have muscles to contract in, but for these
Breast.
podia, they
The
use
breast go
this
out.
water vascular system. So they basically use seawater inside their bodies
Yeah,
to
hydraulic hands.
contract or retract their podia or their tube
Hydro.
feet.
Hydro-powered.
Oh, it's got the little feeding in up front. It's tentacles she was talking about.
I have more zoom, pilot. Let me go in on the head.
Okay. Bring it around.
Move complete. Thanks, Bridge.
Getting a little bit of fast food.
Looks like it's moving in slow motion. The Anhypniastes, we were looking at the purple sea cucumbers we were looking at the other day, were feeding a little bit more voraciously. This one's taking its time. Very cool. I don't think this one is a swimmer.
No. Doesn't seem very agile.
Okay, I'm clear when you are.
All right.
Pilot, do you see anything resembling hard bottom up ahead, or is it just that we haven't gone far enough?
Well, not quite. We have moved maybe 70 or 80 meters so far along our track, and my sonar hasn't indicated anything so far. I've just been sort of following the sandy uphillness. There's no hard bottom for us to chase, but we've been checking the sonars, looking for it. So we'll make sure to head towards it when we find it,
Thanks.
if we find it.
Yeah, we're not sure what to expect here. We noticed a steep slope, but sometimes steep slopes can be sedimented, sometimes they can be hard bottom.
believe the steepest slope we found was about 45 degrees.
The lack of large blocks or
Sediment or rock?
boulders
As far as this whole
Oh,
track.
in this area?
Yeah.
On high peak?
could be a sign that it's mostly sediment up ahead.
Is it sargassum kind of pool?
Yeah, I think the largest was 50 over 30.
Okay.
Excuse me, 30 over 50.
The 3/5.
Pilot, can you snap zoom right above the lasers? There's
Yeah, I'm
something.
bringing it around for you. There's
Okay.
two of them. There's one here and then one off to the left. We'll start here. Okay, video, come on in.
Oh, it looks like a carnivorous sponge.
Bunch, yeah.
Another species. This looks more like Asbesta-pluma or some
closer.
relative of that. There might be something in. Oh yeah, that's a polychaete. I think it's a polychaete, kind of in the middle.
Oh, okay.
See some scales actually. That would make sense. We saw some polychaetes, two polychaetes associated with the collateralized sponge we collected a few days ago. So there looks to be a scale worm, a type of polynoid worm on the inside.
This is a different one than what we saw the other day. It had more branches, right?
Yeah, this is. You mean the one with the ball?
carnivorous. No, we saw a branching one similar to
That's
this
right.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, similar to this one. I think it was a. This one might be a little bit different.
Yeah.
The one we saw the other day was a little bit shallower, but this looks like a collateralized sponge. All right, satisfied with that.
Okay, there's one similar just to the left. Might be the same thing. Pick up and move over there.
Oh, can we zoom on the shrimp? We have a request from the shore.
Yep. Come on in on the shrimp.
This looks like a nematocarcinid or some close relative. Some of these walking shrimps, long legs. We haven't seen a lot lately. They're usually pretty abundant in this area. Maybe just where we weren't at the depth. All right, pilot, thanks. I think we're all set with that.
Okay. And that's another one of those, probably the similar sponge. You can take a snap, make sure if you'd like.
Yeah, sure.
We'll get a little closer.
There's not much to look at here, so you might as well.
Okay, we'll do it in a hurry in the interest of moving along, I guess. So something more interesting. Come in. Good. Yeah, it looks similar.
Yeah, it looks to be the same. I could see another polychaete in there as well, on maybe the upper third of the